One of the reasons why people fear poultry farming is because of feeding. When they think about how much the food the birds are going to eat, they run away. And those also who have started poultry farming, when they reach in the middle of their poultry farm, they quit because of too much eating of the birds. Birds are there to eat. Mind you, before you come into poultry farming, just know that birds, they will eat and eat and eat until you run away or you persist, and never give up on your poultry farm. Now, currently, the cost of 1 kg of broken maize in Uganda is at 1,200, depending on where you are. If you are, it becomes more worse when you are in urban areas, like in the cities. But for people like us who are in a little bit in peri-urban or in rural areas, the cost of 1 kg of corn is still at 1,150. The reason, or my assumption, is that the cost or the demand for the maize corn goes as high because the kids or the children, when they are reporting back to school, there is high rate of demand of maize corn. So in this video, I'm going to give you a tip of how I've managed to feed my birds and save some cost on feeding, because it is one of the highest expenses that you'll come to face. Mind you, if you're doing poultry farming, let it be broilers, let it be layers, let it be broilers, you will come to find or realize that you save 50% of the profits, and also another 50% of the profits goes to the feeds, because you cannot rear birds and you don't feed them and expect them to give them high returns on your investment. So stick around as I give you tips on how I manage to feed my birds and save some little money when it comes to buying these feeds. My name is Skills Organic Poultry Farm, and on this page I give tips about poultry farming. If you're new, please don't forget to follow, because we give tips about poultry farming and farming as general. So tip number one is that before I give you tip number one, you always have to know that there are qualities of feeds that you're supposed to feed to your birds. The lower the quality that you feed to your birds, the lower the returns on investment that you get. The higher the quality that you'll feed to your birds, the higher the returns on investment. So you should be mindful of the quality of the birds, that the quality of the feeds that you feed your birds, because it is one of the key reasons why maybe you don't have high returns, or if you don't have low laying eggs, maybe your birds are getting sick. So you should be so keen when it comes to the quality of the feeds that you're feeding to your birds. So tip number one is that for me, who's in rural areas, I always use this trick. I always go to these seasonal markets. There are always farmers who have grown their maize, and they always sell the maize at a relatively cheaper price. So I go myself and check the quality of these maize corn. How dry are they? How new or old are they? What is the quality of the stock? Because that matters a lot. If you buy all the stock that was harvested a few months ago, or it has been in store for long, it will cost you a lot, because it has aflatoxins and your birds will be affected. So always check if the stock was either old or new. So I go to these seasonal markets, like always once in a week, check for the feeds by myself, and buy them at relatively either 200 or 150 or maybe 300, depending on the prices of the current situation. So it has saved me a lot, because one, I buy high quality feeds, and two, I buy it at a relatively cheaper price. That's ungrinded corn, not the broken one. So step number two, I look around on the market. There are always people who are millers. The millers, these are people who grind either maize or cassava. They grind them very, very, very good, because I tell them the size of the broken maize I want, depending on the age of my birds. So I tell them my birds are 2 months, 3 months, and they need some bigger size of the broken. That's exactly what they will do. They will grind them depending on my needs, and the grinding prices is always at 150 or 200, depending on the how you convince or your tongue towards this person. So imagine you have already saved on your buying, and you also here coming to negotiate with the person going to mill for you these maize, and that is now step number 2. Step number 3 is that you pack your maize. If you have a car, it's well for you, but for me, who's still developing myself, I just use a judge or a Okada or a motorcycle. I just pack my very high quality grinded maize corn and take it to my farm. Step number 3, I always make sure that I mix my own food, because it's not that I don't trust the sources, but I feel like what I'm doing is what exactly I want, because I can't trust the sources 100%. So all I do is I buy the concentrates, I buy the lime, and I buy the rest, because those I cannot find them from the market, and they are a little bit high to make by yourself. So those are the things that I always try to buy from the food stores or from the sources that I always buy my food. So the day I realized that on 100 kgs I can save around 20 to 10,000. If I buy 1 ton of unbroken maize, I will have saved 1 million Ugandan shillings. Now, if you multiply 1 million Ugandan shillings every time you buy feed, that's a lot of money. If you are an economist like me, or if you're farming as a business, that's a lot of money to save on the cost of feeds. So, mind you, the more you save on certain things like that, like medicine, like feeds, the more you see the returns on investment. Because poultry farming is like any other farming or any other business that you'll ever do, because you'll incur a lot of costs, and all these costs, they will have to affect your profits margin. So that's how I managed to save some cost on my feeding cost, because it is very, very important to mind about, 1, the quality of the feeds you buy, 2, how you mix your feeds, and 3, how much do your birds eat per day, because that's what makes farming as a business. You have always to put in mind, how much am I investing and how much am I reaping from my investment. That's a little bit of what I had for you today in this video. Please share and comment and subscribe to this page, as long as if this video has helped you so much to know how you can save some little bit of the cost or the money on your in your poultry farming. Thank you so much. May God bless you.